ITV News in the Tyne region.
With Amy Lee and Jonny Blair.
Hello there, good evening. Thank you very much for joining us.
On tonight's programme, full register, one of the country's biggest SEND sixth forms opens in Darlington, but applications are already outpacing availability.
Too hot to handle, the crackdown on kids doubling their cancer risk by using sunbeds in their teens.
Life in the fast lane. We'll meet the Northumbrian native who's charged with leading Cadillac's first season in F1.
And we're suited and booted to celebrate International Women's Day with a very iconic North East character.
First tonight, and the Education Secretary and Wearside MP Bridget Phillipson's told us that the government is open to criticism and feedback on the new plans to reform SEND provisions.
It came as she opened a new special education sixth form at a school in Darlington, one of the largest in the country.
The head teacher told us, though, demand is so high they are already at capacity. Julia Bartham reports.
It's so wonderful to be part of something that I think demonstrates how we can learn from the best of what's happening here in Darlington and take that onto the national stage.
This new sixth form centre means the children of Beaumont Hill Academy can move out of the main school when they reach 16.
When they get to post-16, it's kind of nice that they have somewhere separate that can be more of an adult-led and more of an adult-focused building. It doesn't look like a school classrooms a lot across here. They very much have a more of an adult feel, and it acts as a bridge between school and college for them. The whole focus of this building is to develop independent skills and to prepare them for life after school.
Moving sixth form pupils here has created space for 40 new places in the main school. A school which, like all SEND provision, is way oversubscribed.
We have had 268 consultations for 39 places. So, as you can imagine, we filled those 39 places very, very quickly in September.
The Education Secretary's visit to the school comes days after the publication of the government's white paper setting out plans to reform the special educational needs system.
We know that there is so much more we need to do to stop that fight that parents always have and to make sure that all children get early access to support and the specialist support that they need. So what I'd say to parents is, we've published a consultation. Please do share your views. Tell us what needs to change in order to make the system work better.
This new specialist provision is welcomed by parents of pupils here, who also welcome the government's opening up of the conversation about the challenges they face.
One of my big considerations is there somewhere that my son can go right up until he's 18 to avoid having these awkward transitions constantly. So to have a sixth form here is just brilliant.
The children aren't quite as profound, but do need a wealth of support that get lost in the middle, and that's still a great deal of families that are probably still a little bit concerned.
Sometimes you feel like you're in the background a little bit, you aren't listened to, but I think the government's made a real effort to kind of listen to the parents, and that comes through in the white paper.
Pupils here are already settling into life in their new building.
Oh, it's pretty nice actually. I've really liked all the different classes and all that, so yeah.
I'm enjoying it a lot, to be honest.
This school is aiming to give the best start for its pupils, while work goes on nationally to find a way to offer the best start to as many children as possible. Julia Bartham, ITV News, Darlington.
Peter Mandelson's bail conditions have been lifted and his passport returned by police, according to his legal team. The former Hartlepool MP was arrested as part of an investigation into emails released between him and the paedophile financier Jeffrey Epstein. His lawyers say he's continuing to cooperate with the investigation.
Next tonight, to something that seems so simple and easy to use and access, but could have a huge health impact later on in life.
Yes, a crackdown has been announced on people under 18 using sunbeds, with some reports of salons letting children as young as 14 use them. Lauren Hall reports.
Hi guys, for those who don't know me, I'm Jack, and today I want to talk to you about my sunbed addiction.
Jack Howell has never shied away from talking about sunbeds and the impact they've had on him.
I started using sunbeds as a teenager. They were very easily accessible when I was younger, and just started using them, and then over and over time it just got worse and worse and worse.
He says he was rarely asked for ID and was soon visiting tanning salons 4 to 5 times a week, sometimes twice a day. At 21, he was diagnosed with an advanced melanoma skin cancer.
It was like a grenade had gone off. And I think because in some capacity I caused that, so it's hard to know what to blame yourself for and what not to blame yourself for. And it's so confusing.
Research shows almost 1 in 5 people in the North East use sunbeds. Nationally, the highest users are those aged between 18 and 34, while a small survey of 100 teenagers aged 16 to 17 found more than a third are using them underage. The World Health Organization warns that using a sunbed before the age of 20 increases the risk of melanoma skin cancer by nearly 50%. The government's announced a crackdown on rogue tanning salons, proposing mandatory ID checks to ensure customers are over 18. It's supported by a number of charities who are concerned young people often only see sunbeds in a positive light.
Go on social media, there's the sort of promotion of wellness attached to sunbeds, which in fact there is no evidence. It doesn't lift your mood, it won't boost your vitamin D, it's not going to make your skin better if you've got acne. And I think that sort of drives the interest and the use for sunbeds for those young people.
The Sunbed Association says it fully supports tackling rogue operators. Here at the tanning shop in Middlesbrough, they say they go to great lengths to ensure they aren't letting in underage customers and wouldn't want to be associated with those who do.
We still have operators out there who deem it acceptable to allow people underage to use their services. And we find it disappointing. We find it wholly unacceptable.
Jack wants to continue raising awareness and telling his story. He knows that having a tan is only temporary, but the consequences of getting one can last a lot longer. Lauren Hall, ITV News.
Last night we heard about a decline in the number of people who are reading for pleasure and how the government has declared 2026 a national year of reading to try and address that.
Interestingly, though, there is one age group which has developed more of an interest in books and reading. That's people in their late 20s and early 30s. It's thought that that might be down to the work of social media influencers in spaces like BookTok and BookTube. Kevin Ashford reports.
I'm here today to tell you about a book that I have been literally obsessed with.
Michaela Good is a book content creator. For the last 3.5 years, she's been posting videos online about the books she likes to read. She's racked up tens of thousands of followers.
I'm in my Charlie Donnelly era, so of course I've picked up 3 new ones. I am absolutely obsessed. This is Esther Is Now Following You by Tanya Sweeney. There is nothing more exciting than new books.
Are you reviewing books? Are you recommending books?
Yeah, I would say like reviewing, but also just like shouting about like underrated books that just people aren't talking about. So I was like, I'm just going to go online and talk to people and see if people like it, and apparently people do.
Generally, over the last decade, interest in reading amongst adults has declined, except for one age group, the 25 to 34-year-olds, where engagement recently has risen, and it's thought that's down to the work of online influencers. The impact has been felt by this bookshop in Stockton-on-Tees.
At the end of the day, books are recommended by other people. So we now have another medium that does it. There's an irony around the fact that people on social media are telling us to come off social media and do something different. It's a little bit weird, but hey, we'll take anything that goes, because if it gets people through the door of the shop, then that's great.
And the publishing industry as a whole is having to adapt to the new breed of digital literary critics who are influencing book sales.
The interesting thing about BookTok has been it's driving physical book buying. So there's this real online place where BookTok is really developing, and younger people are discussing the books they like, discussing the books they don't like, and we see a real community developing and a sense of identity for young adults as readers, which is it's really good to see.
So it's those who were raised in a digital world who are now leading the way when it comes to reading books for pleasure. Kevin Ashford, ITV News.
And the ITV Evening News continues after us tonight at 6:30 with Charlene White.
Trump says there's no deal to be made with Iran, only its surrender. 50 Israeli fighter jets struck the late Supreme Leader's underground military bunker in Tehran. Warnings about what impact events in the Middle East could have on your petrol bill and your mortgage. We meet the 11-year-old returning to Crufts after battling cancer.
She is the most loyal friend I've ever had. She's my best friend, and there's nothing that could replace Eka.
Very cute. So do join us for those stories and more from 6:30.
Powering local sport in the community. Octopus Energy sponsors ITV Regional Sports Report.
Time for sport now. It's FA Cup 5th round weekend and there's a feeling of Groundhog Day at St James's Park. Newcastle face Manchester City again for the 5th time this season. Their last meeting saw the Magpies dumped out of the Carabao Cup, so Eddie Howe is keen to avoid another cup exit this time around.
We've been given the hardest tie we could have been. I think the players' mindset has been to try and win every game. I've been criticised for taking the cup seriously previously, this season especially, because people have felt it's given us too many games, but I think that's the way we have to be when representing this club. So we'll have the same attitude again. We'll try and win the game and then see where it takes us.
Meanwhile, Sunderland travel to League One side Port Vale, hoping to avoid an upset. Their 4th round tie against Bristol City was delayed to this week, and they won it late on, thanks to a winner from boyhood Newcastle fan Ben Wayne. Now, the Black Cats aren't interested in subplots. Their only target is a spot in the quarter-finals.
You need to earn it, because it won't be easy. It's a specific context against a Premier League team, especially, so they will play with this X factor, this energy that makes surprises. It's always like that.
There's no FA Cup action for Middlesbrough. Their focus is now firmly on the Championship promotion race. They travelled to QPR on Sunday afternoon. Borough found their stride in a brilliant display against Birmingham on Monday and are looking to kick on from there.
I think that was brilliant how we played the game, and that gives a lot of confidence and belief again. But this is a group that believes and works very, very hard. So, but of course, after when you don't win, you always want to bounce back and win, and that was important that way.
And you can see how Borough's promotion rivals get on in the EFL highlight show tomorrow night at 11:05 here on ITV1.
And at the Winter Paralympics, Newcastle wheelchair curler Jason Keane has won first 2 of his games. Team GB secured victories over Latvia and the USA. Congratulations to them. Now, this is exciting because it's not very often that we get to chat about the start of the new Formula One season, but here we go.
Yes, we've got a particular interest in motorsports elite competition this year, as Andrew McLean can explain.
There's a new team on the grid, and the man in charge is one of our own. Graham Loden is born and bred in Northumberland and leads Cadillac into their first season. The road from the northeast to Formula One isn't well travelled, but armed with a career in engineering, Graham has made his way to the very top of the sport. Perhaps the biggest influence on his journey, though, was Newcastle United.
I think you do end up with a bit of tenacity when in the northeast, and maybe it's the Newcastle United thing. You know, I've said it before. It's the hope that kills you, and I've been a hopeful fan for so long. But I learned a lot from that, and in Formula One, it's the same. Formula One's such a difficult sport. It's so difficult. It's not something that you can just break into and win or anything else like that.
So it will take time for Cadillac to compete at the front, and they may well struggle to get in the points in Australia. But they have already beaten the odds just by being on the start line. They are the first new entrant since 2016. Luckily, Graham is one of few people who actually knows how to get an F1 team started. He's already done it with Richard Branson's Virgin Racing in 2010. There's experience throughout Cadillac too. In Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez, they boast 2 drivers with serious race-winning pedigree. And the season brings a radically changed set of regulations, so all teams have something to learn.
Setting up a team from scratch is not a small task. I've done it a couple of times now, and it does seem to get harder because Formula One gets more complicated. But like any other sport, it's a team game. It's the greatest team game in the world. The challenge is just getting all the right people on board, making sure they have the right facilities. Oh, and by the way, we have to be racing in a couple of weeks' time as well, and nobody's going to thank us if we turn up late.
It's a busy month with trips to China and Japan after Australia. But no matter how far he travels, home is never far from Graham's mind.
I'm very proud of where I come from. I love the people. Just a massive thank you to my family and friends, and and everyone in the North East who's provided support, because in the same way that I've enjoyed that support from family and friends, I know everyone else has in the whole team. I'm not only proud of the North East roots, but I'm also really, really thankful of all the support that I've had in the North East as well.
That is fantastic to see. What an achievement for our region. Graham, best of luck, and good luck to the Cadillac team as well.
Now, to some of us, the 1990s might feel like yesterday. Not me.
Or me.
Can't remember it at all. But I do remember the Battle of Britpop, Blair against Oasis.
Yeah, now that battle back in the 90s was actually more than 3 decades ago. What? And now one of the men behind the music, Blair's bassist Alex James, is taking on a new show, and he's taking it on tour. He's mixing some famous hits with a full classical orchestra, and he's been chatting to our correspondent, Tom Barton.
It's going to be busy on that stage.
He's Blur's bassist, a cheese champion, and now Alex James is bringing an orchestra on the road.
Are you excited or trepidatious? Oh, can't wait. Sun's shining, spring's in the wings. Let's get this party started. You're bringing Britpop on tour, but with a twist, with an orchestra. Just explain what that's all about. So it's really simple. It's a rock band with me on bass and a symphony orchestra, right down to the tuba, the bells and the harp, a chorus of session singers and some very special guests blasting out 90 minutes of hits. It's that simple. And what does the orchestra bring to those tunes? There's a sort of dynamic and a might that you get with, just with all that energy of all those people on stage.
Britpop is having a moment. Blur reformed in 2023. Last year, Oasis sold out a smash hit global tour. The music might be 3 decades old, but it doesn't seem to have lost its relevance.
The music of your teenage years never ever leaves you. So I think all the people who loved it at the time still love it, and because there's still great music coming through, but there's less of it. And actually, it's much. And people nowadays have got access to, you've got access to everything. So people could kind of go on a voyage of discovery and discover stuff for themselves. So, there's this incredible appetite for music and pop culture generally in Britain. That hasn't gone away. Among the tunes that you play are, of course, those by your great rivals, Oasis. Does it hurt a little? No, not at all. I was absolutely delighted. It was great. It was really kind of spiritually rewarding, kind of just digging into these songs and kind of just getting them up on the jacks and seeing that as a musician, just like, wow, that's so clever, But it was wonderful digging into all these songs, and actually the groove on Wonderwall is hats off. Great vocal, great song.
Is that the sound of hatchets being buried? Alex James and his Britpop classical orchestra are on tour from next week. Tom Barton, ITV News.
Trip down memory lane, it was 30 years ago. And you can watch Tom's full interview with Alex James. It's on ITVX now. Now we're moving on to the iconic outfit worn by one of TV's best-loved detectives, our Vera. Tonight, it's the centrepiece of an event at Newcastle's Discovery Museum.
It's all to celebrate International Women's Day. Helen Carnell is there and can tell us more. Helen.
Yes, if you're looking for a real Wonder Woman in the most wondrous room, look no further than here. The lights are on, out of hours for one night only, to celebrate some of our region's most remarkable people with a series of really exciting exhibits, including this one, almost 200 years old. It was signed by domestic servants in 1839, fighting to not have to sweep the pavements outside their homes. It was met with peals of laughter by men. Wasn't it, Kylie? How times have changed. Tell me about tonight.
So we're really excited to be celebrating International Women's Day here at Discovery Museum with our Discovery Nights. It's an after-hours event where people can come along and dip in and out of all sorts of exciting activities, whether that's sketching costumes or seeing behind the scenes in the archives, doing a bit of crafting, or even hearing some women's drumming at the end of the night. And we've got a bar and, of course, our talk with author Anne Cleves.
Well, we better move on to that because, thank you, Kylie, the real centrepiece of tonight is this costume worn by Brenda Blethyn to play Vera for 14 series on our screens. And joining me is creator Anne Cleves. It's not exactly stylish, is it? But it's certainly iconic. Tell me about how the costume has made the character.
I think so, yes. Vera of the TV show, this is how people see her now. I didn't write her like this, but it's wonderful. Wherever she goes, people recognise her. And I think it's terrific that yesterday was World Book Day, and there were a number of young lasses who dressed up as Vera, not in pink and not as a princess, but as a strong, independent woman fighting for justice. And I'm delighted by that.
And as we're celebrating International Women's Day, would you say she's probably the most influential woman in your career?
She certainly made a big difference to me, yes, having the books televised. And then I think the show sold to nearly 200 territories around the world. So wherever you go, actually, wherever I go on book tour, there's somebody who's seen the television series and recognises the character.
And female characters in fiction are so incredibly important and shaping.
Of course, yes. It's a strong woman who led a team, who didn't have a husband, who didn't need a man to help her, and sending a really strong message out to the world, I think.
Well, we should say that the costume isn't going on permanent display here, but will be available for people to see at special events throughout the year. So I shall enjoy this moment. I'm actually feeling quite tall.
A fantastic celebration, and of course Helen with the iconic outfit there. Thank you very much.
Ross joins us now. Vera's Mac, very practical, shower resistant, I'm going to guess, but I don't know if it's like
another layer underneath it today.
You need a jumper or something.
Reminded today of the sort of pendulum swing that is March's weather. Yesterday, t-shirts. Today, jumpers, scarves, coats. Yeah. This was what it looked like earlier in the week at Weirhead. Beautiful blue skies, temperatures in the mid-teens at times. Do you remember? Because, yeah, today it looks a bit more like this. And here it is from the sky as well. This is Castleside near Concert. Such a contrast. 16 degrees yesterday, 10 degrees lower today. You can see the cut-off line where temperatures were low enough, above around 250 metres. Fortunately, no more snow on the way and a bit more sunshine is the forecast.
A breezy morning will be followed up with a flurry of fresh delights for lunch. TUI sponsors ITV Tyne Tea's weather.
After the cloud, the hill snow, the rain from earlier, things clearing up overnight. Clear skies, lighter breezes, and temperatures falling. It is going to be chilly overnight, dipping below freezing, certainly in the countryside. A bit of frost, even ice into the weekend. But it is a bright start. There is certainly more in the way of sunshine tomorrow. High pressures building in, pushing away this front here that brought the more unsettled conditions into Sunday. We're watching a front moving its way up from the south. Nothing too significant with this, but the cloud is going to thicken. We could see a little bit of light and patchy rain, but it also signals slightly less chilly air moving across us. Temperatures will be climbing as we head towards the end of the weekend. For now, from the north, the skies are starting to clear. We've got those lighter breezes, the chillier air moves in, and so we're seeing temperatures dropping down for that frost, that risk of ice on untreated surfaces. Certainly where we saw that hill snow earlier, temperatures hovering at around freezing even in our towns and cities. So yes, into tomorrow morning, although there's still a bit of cloud clinging on towards the south of the region, for most of us it's dry, it's bright, holding on to those sunny spells, certainly further north as we head into the afternoon, and temperatures hold up at around 9 or 10 degrees. So actually, if you are out and about, particularly in that sunshine, quite a pleasant afternoon. So it's later, as we look towards the early hours of Sunday, we're really starting to see that warm front move its way through. It's thickening up the cloud. As I say, maybe a little bit of light and patchy rain with that, nothing too significant. And we could still see some clearer skies for Northumberland first thing Sunday morning. So there's more in the way of cloud around with those brighter breaks. Into Monday, again, the cloud amounts will vary. Because it's a warm front, though, we are seeing temperatures rise by Monday, highs of 14 degrees.
TUI sponsors ITV Tyne weather.
Thanks, Ross. And before we go, a mystery has been solved in Amble in Northumberland after fish and bait stocks were vanishing overnight.
Yes, some hidden cameras found it was a brave and rather cheeky otter and a heron who'd been helping themselves in the middle of the night, shy bends and all that. It turns out that everyone, no matter what species, loves a late night fish tea. Just needs the chips. Fish and chip Friday.
Caught red-handed on
yeah,
record.
or something like that.
No need for fear on that occasion.
No, we've solved
I'll
it.
be back with a late news at 11:10. Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.